Dating can be tough. Then we have this whole thing called the pandemic that is making connections with people scary. There's online dating, but if you haven't done that before, there's a learning curve. So, what do you do? How do you meet people during the pandemic? Yeah, it's a challenge. We'll talk about it. Let's get this show started.
We can do better. We can do better.
Hi, America. Welcome to the Brandon Show. We're doing a whole episode of Ask Brandon. And let's talk to Ebony Brown. Ebony, how are you?
Hey Brandon, I have a question. During the days of COVID, obviously we're not being as social. What methods do you advise in regards to meeting people, whether it be in person safely or online?
That's a good question. I think, with COVID, there has been some, safety issues with being around people. And so we're trying to find a new way of being connected to people without actually being around them. Have you
Mhm.
considered online dating?
I have, and I'm the worst at it. I am. I'm very kinetic, so I just have not been great at even on my own end, despite some of the madness that I've encountered, which is a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. So tell me about your online dating experience.
I have found the fetish men, the white men who have decided that I'm going to be the first black woman they want to date, the
Okay.
men who notice you put all your interest, you're looking for a relationship, you're this, that, and other, you put what you're there for. But the people that actually come and communicate with you in the quote unquote inbox say everything but very lewd commentary. Very few people asking me out, but plenty asking me in, and it just sometimes there's just no entertainment value. If anything, it would make the dating process be depressing. And with me already being kinetic, I wasn't drawn to the keyboard to come check those messages or to see that and then want to cut somebody out and decide I don't know them, it's not worth my energy. So that was my has been my experience over the years. I've tried it periodically. It just kind of winds up the same way.
Yeah, I think your experience has been the experience of so many people out there who are using online dating. But it doesn't mean that you can't have a great experience on online dating. I think the great thing about online dating during this time, where you have to really make a priority and limit your interactions with people, you get
Mhm.
a chance to talk and learn about who they are before making the decision to actually meet up. In the past, it was maybe you talk a few times or whatever your strategy was, but it was sort of like a quick kind of meeting online to meeting in person. Now it's dangerous; it could literally kill you. And so I
Mhm.
think making it a priority to actually get to know the person first may help you in developing a relationship. How many people have you seen as real potential mates, or none at all?
Zero,
Zero.
zero.
Uh-huh.
As a matter of fact, I'm not active on any platform right now online just because it was just going very poorly, and I was a bit content in myself. I would like to stay open to dating. I've never been married. However, there was just a period of time where I just decided to shut it down because there wasn't a lot of positivity coming from it.
Okay, and so what are you doing right now during COVID? Are you actively going to, I don't know how it is in Dallas. What's the atmosphere like in Dallas? Are you going out to lounges? I don't even know if that's open. Like, what are you doing right now to
Yeah.
potentially?
Being careful. It is tight down here. Well, it actually depends on what county you're in. Dallas County is being pretty careful. I personally am based where I go on the venue, what they're doing. I don't
Mhm.
mind going to a restaurant, especially like if it's an outdoors restaurant and the table is 6+ feet away from me. I literally have what I call my COVID buddies. I have friends, including opposite sex friends, who their lifestyle is conducive to mine as far as being very careful, having elderly parents. So I've kind of condensed my life,
Yeah,
just been really careful of the places that I go. My friend recently had an end of summer gathering
yeah,
where a few people invited extras. So at that point, my friend and I looked at each other like, "Gotta go,"
gotta
that.
go. Yeah,
Okay. So really, it's been I have no I'm no longer on complete lockdown, but it's common sense with where we've been stepping out to.
yeah. And so I get that, but I also get that in order for you to find a mate, you have to be available.
Hmm.
And you have to be, unless you're doing online dating, it will be kind of impossible for you to find someone. So if you're not going to do online dating, I would suggest for you to reach out to your friends. How much do you talk about your desire to be in a relationship with your friends?
I personally don't talk about it a lot because they all know. We all kind of know where we are and what our desires are. So we do try to place ourselves in social situations. Like I said, that end of the summer gathering, that was an opportunity to see, a few people safely that I never met before.
Yeah.
Those are the preferred methods of, getting to know people. But I do understand that I probably have to expand my horizons at this point.
Yeah, so I heard you say they already know about your situation. They may have forgotten. They're living their own lives. I want you to be explicit and intentional about your dating. So even if they already know, you need to remind them, like, hey, guys, I'm looking for a relationship. This is the type of person I'm looking for. If you're looking for a job, what would you do?
You're right. I would tell everybody I'm on the lookout, pass out my resume.
Right.
See what they know as far as matching me up.
Right.
You are correct.
So that's what you need to do. You don't make assumptions, and you need to be intentional about your dating. And so you need to, it may or no, girl, we know. You told us that. Like, be intentional because not everyone knows or believes when we say, oh, yeah, we're single, we're looking. If they know, okay, she's really serious about this. She really wants to find someone. And in the back of their heads, when they meet someone who fits your criteria, what are they going to do?
Hopefully they will do a little something, even though I'm terrified of blind dating, but hopefully they will link us up.
Yeah. Now is the time to be extremely clear. Like I said, think about it as you're looking for a job. Instead, you're welcoming love into your life. And so we're not making a list of, he needs to be this height, but really, what are your priorities in a relationship that you want? And make that known to your friends, and so that they can be on the lookout for that person. Okay, so that's one thing you can do.
I can step that up.
You can. You definitely. I mean, it will create a world of difference. A lot of times when we get in, when we have needs, we don't always make them known, and so we feel alone. But there are people out there who are willing to go to the depths of the ocean to make sure that you're happy. And if you give them the permission to assist you, they will. And so they may not always be right, but they will try. And so I would say be vulnerable enough to ask for help from your friends, from your family, and say, look, this is what I want in my life. Help me out. And there would be some homegirls like, girl, I got you. Like, no. They will help you. And so be open to that. Okay. So we have the ask friends. We have the online dating. And do you go to the grocery store?
I do. Oh, and last night was amazing.
Okay. And what happened at the grocery store?
So I wasn't ready. There was a lot of nice looking men in the produce section last night.
And so how did you interact with those men in the grocery store?
Trying to smize above the daggone mask.
Yeah.
All you can do is smize and speak as best you can.
Yeah. And so when I said about being intentional, I want you to be intentional about owning the space that you're in wherever you are. Yeah. And so that you can be seen. And I'm not saying like seen like salacious, but you need to be seen. And so if you're near a guy and you think he's cute, you don't have to get on your knees and ask him to marry you. But you can say, can you hand me that eggplant? I'm just kidding.
I mean, I was in the produce section. And I'm only 5'4". I need help sometimes.
I'm kidding. But the thing is to initiate conversation.
Yeah.
And it may not be anything, but the more that you get out there and you start initiating and you start being intentional, and frankly, you start loving the life that you're living in, you will attract the love that you're looking for. So I want you to try that the next time you go somewhere. Now, I know you don't want to be in people's faces right now, but you can still Initiate conversation with people. You can still be your bubbly self. You can still show up in your light. And that's what people are attracted to. So, online dating,
Mhm.
being intentional about how you use online dating. There are going to always be a-holes everywhere, online, in real life, and you're going to have to swipe left. So
Yeah.
swipe left in real life, and you're going to swipe left online because they will always be there. There will always be there. There will always be people who don't align up with where you're going and what you want in your life. That's just how it is.
Mhm.
So they will be there online, and they will be there in life. So online, being intentional about your search with your friends, letting them know, asking for help and support,
Mhm.
talking to your girlfriends who are married. Girl, what did you do? Like, how did you meet your man? Do they have single friends? This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want in my life. These are my priorities. I'm sticking away from a list, of physical characteristics. We're talking about priorities. What is important to you? I want a family. That's a priority. I want someone who listens to me, who appreciates my value. Those are priorities. And so talk about your priorities with your friends. Okay, and the next thing, when you go out, show up and initiate. If you see a guy looking at you and he's hesitant, guess what? Hi, how are you? Think of something real quick. Are you getting dinner tonight? It may sound cheesy, but it initiates the conversation.
Well, I was talking to my friend about those type of situations. Like, how is it that you wind up talking to so many people, swapping out numbers, and men fall off? Like literally, they could talk to you all night long, and then you not hear from them the next day. That's fine. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But at some point, you're like, okay, what's the point? My male friends say that they assume that my being so friendly is flirtation. So when they actually get involved with me and realize that I'm of some substance, then they just kind of fall off. So I'm like, well, what? I don't understand what being bubbly and what being friendly is. Is that limiting me?
No,
They
you're
can
doing
put
the right
myself
thing.
in there too much because I'm more comfortable that way.
You're doing the right thing. Don't
Okay.
be afraid to be yourself, and people don't want it. That's what you want. You don't want people to be there who don't want the real you, who don't want to be there for what you're looking for. If they leave because they want something more, something else, let them. Let them walk out of your life. The person who is meant for you and who is willing to get to know you will be there.
Okay. Thank you. Because they really stubborn.
Let them die out. Okay.
Yes, I can fade to black. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. But the person who wants you, who wants to get to know you,
Mhm.
will pick up that phone again, will call you, will ask you to go out. You're not in crisis in your life. There's no thing that says you have to get married by midnight tomorrow, right?
No, nobody's offered me that $1 million to say that.
Right. So you're not in crisis, and so you don't have to make desperate decisions.
Mhm.
So it's okay. And the right people will enter your life, and you will keep those right people in your life by doing the things that you need to do, and that's being who you are. And the person who loves that, who cherishes that, who wants to create a family with that, will be there with you, and it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What else?
This is actually something that came up in conversation with some lady friends a few days ago.
Yeah.
So let's say you meet that person, you have those, dates, whether it be online, some virtual dates, you finally meet in person. Let's think, because we're literally looking at, we don't know how long COVID is going to go.
Yeah.
So it used to be a time where if you decided to be intimate, you were taking them to the clinic for a certain test. At
Yes.
this point, are we doing COVID tests before we first make out? It turned into a great big laughing session, but it got real when we really start thinking about interpersonal relationships if this is our new normal.
So yes, I think it's okay. And I heard this quote from a doctor online. I don't remember where I heard it from or who it was, but he said it's okay to be neurotic about your health when it comes to COVID. So this could be a life or death relationship, right?
Right.
And it can not only impact you, but the people that you're around because it can spread. So it's okay to be like, hey, Who have you been around? What are your daily activities? Have you taken a COVID test? Are you negative? Have you had COVID? Like, what do you do? Because it's not just about you, it's about me. And if we're going to engage in some hanky panky, I don't want to end up dead from it, you know?
We can't even out like at this
Or
point.
just hanky panky could be just like hugging.
It's bumping.
Yeah. I mean, it's physical contact. And especially if you're taking your mask off, you want to be sure that you are protected. And so I think it's okay to ask and be, you know, neurotic about that. And anyone who values you will value what you value. Okay. And so if you value health and safety, if they diminish that, then what else will they not take seriously that you request?
That was definitely my take, because even if they felt like, oh, it's not that serious to me, but it's that serious to you.
Right.
And this is less invasive than an STD test and so forth. So
it burns, but yeah.
It's not comfortable. It's definitely not comfortable, but you know, a lot more expeditious to do and just less private, if you will. But if you are unable to take a COVID test, then anything else is going to be a struggle. In my mind, that's how it would be.
Right.
But it does feel awkward, and it's just, you know, again, our new normal is making traditional things seem a little awkward, but we don't really have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, if I want to be with you, if I want to hang around you, if I want to like develop something with you, and definitely if I want to be physical with you, I'm going to do whatever I need to do that. And you know, I've said this for years, and people say it all the time. We do what we want to do, and whatever we make a priority, we will find a way. So if they want to be with you or hang around you, they're going to have to go by some of the criteria that you set for that to occur. And it's not like you're being unreasonable, because we're in a pandemic. And so making a request that they at least have, you know, COVID, you know, a test, if they've been around a lot of people, I mean, it just makes it so much better. Why wouldn't I want you to be relaxed about our interaction? So I think you're not making a reasonable request, unreasonable request.
I was
valuing yourself and your health. Why would anyone diminish that? So no.
Okay. I will spread the word. I will take that feedback back to the ladies, because we giggled a lot about it, but it's a serious question.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's hard. I know it's hard. I struggle with it too, but it's really hard to advocate for yourself. You know, it's really hard, and especially in the world that does completely opposite of what you should be doing. There's always peer pressure to go against your values, and you have to know your own value system and stick to it, or you'll end up doing everything.
And I think we also, as Black women, sometimes feel like we are already put in a corner of being extra sometimes. So when we want to ask for extra or more, something is particular, kind of edge away from it when we shouldn't.
Yeah, that's not extra. That's baseline requirements.
I'm with you.
Yeah, you start there and then you move forward. That's not extra. It takes practice. So practice saying it to yourself until you can say it out loud. Whatever it is that you struggle with, or you struggle with setting certain boundaries, because boundary setting is so difficult, no matter what the boundary is. Boundary set, and that's a boundary. The COVID test in your health, that's a boundary. I will not cross it until you reach the requirements. So setting boundaries can be challenging. That's what I said earlier. Self-advocacy is one of the hardest things to do. But practice it until it becomes a habit.
Maybe this is a good time for all of that. We don't have the chaos of the social behavior that we used to. Can actually more singularly practice, like you said, again, if you try doing the online. Maybe this is a good time for all of that. We don't have the chaos of the social behavior that we used to. Can actually more singularly practice, like you said, again, if you try doing the online. It's not as immediate. You're not just in my face. unless we're doing like a Zoom or something like that. So it is a time to practice different behaviors, and maybe different behaviors get different results.
Yeah, and what you just said right there, Ebony, is what psychologists, therapists like to call reframing. You just reframed an experience and shaped it in a way that is positive. So you're taking the opportunity of COVID that can be seen as a challenge, a crisis, a negative experience, and reframed it to be an opportunity to
Mhm.
learn about yourself, to learn about setting boundaries, to learn about developing rich relationships. And so, if you continue to reframe things like you just did, you'll find love. And, I can't give you a timeline,
Well,
but
come on.
yeah, by next week, your pathway forward to finding love will be so much better if you continue the process of reframing and thinking about opportunities in every experience.
I got you. I can do this.
I'm so excited for you because you are beautiful, and I can't believe you told my producer you're 44 years old. I
Yeah,
don't even
all
believe
of
I don't believe that. So we're gonna have to do a birth. We're gonna look for your birth
them.
certificate
Documents.
because I don't believe that. However, you're beautiful, and you seem like you have a great personality, and you seem like you have a lot to offer the world. So there's someone out there who wants you, and so I think you have to put yourself out there. You have to um, appreciate what you have and put it out there and let people know what you have so you can be on the market. You're available.
Go back to Kroger tonight.
Yeah, okay. Oh, and Ebony, that's good practice. That's very good practice. You don't even have to want the person, but practice talking to people. Practice starting conversations. Practice being who you are. I know even myself, sometimes you go into places and you don't want to be seen, you don't want to talk to a person. Just practice.
Yeah.
Practice big. It doesn't even have to be a man. Practice talking to anyone in the grocery store. Practice showing up in the space that you are in.
I will be intentional because normally grocery store, I want to get in and get out. I just came for this lemonade and I'm gone. And that's kind of how I showed up last night. And I started looking around like, what are this is going on? So tonight's trip to the grocery store might be a little bit more intentional.
Yeah. I mean, be safe, but be intentional. Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody out there don't be like, in people's faces. No.
Put me out.
Be intentional.
Well, this was amazing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think you're fantastic, and this can help you in so many other ways. I think we get so used to in different areas of our lives of one, not asking for help, two, making assumptions about what we think others know about our needs, three, hiding what we really desire because we don't want to seem desperate. I'm not saying you, but we don't want to seem needy, Sometimes we don't even believe that we can have what we think we want.
We're in a time where people will throw the word thirst at you
Yes.
for just expressing a desire. And it can be behind just about anything, but definitely for women and men, it's ridiculous. I mean,
If you were in a desert and you saw water, would you pretend like you weren't thirsty?
I'm gonna get it.
You would go get it.
I'm watching down trying to get
And
to
you
it.
would not be ashamed
No,
to do it.
no.
And so you don't have to act crazy to go get it. You can walk over there. You can run if you need to. But you're going to go get it. And you should not be ashamed for getting and pursuing what you want in your life. If they call you thirsty, you say, yes, I'm thirsty. Call me Gatorade. I don't care. But
Plus.
when you're walking down the aisle, when you're getting what you want in your life, when you have your priorities set and you are achieving them, they can't say anything. It doesn't matter. This is your life. And if they call you thirsty, it has nothing to do with you anyway. Thank you, Ebony.
Of course, thank you.
If you'd like to be a guest on the Brandon Show, shoot us a message. Brandon@brandonshow.com. Until next time, be well.
We can do better.